good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. Today, we're continuing our journey through Psalm 23. The phrase we're looking at today is, He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Let me read all of Psalm 23. It says this, The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pasture. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The phrase we're looking at today, it's the sixth phrase from Psalm 23. It says this, He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Keep in mind, we're going through the book here, A Shepherd Looks at Psalm 23 by Philip Keller. In this particular section, he talks about how a shepherd is responsible to provide the grass and stuff. The sheep are really kind of dumb animals. Well, they're really dumb animals. And they will just graze on a certain pasture area until there's nothing left. And then it has like no hope of coming back. So anyway, a good shepherd will take the sheep and he'll graze it for a certain amount of time in that area. Then he will take and move the sheep to another pasture area to let that grass grow back up and stuff like that. If he lets it there, what will happen is the sheep will just eat, and then pretty soon they're eating up the roots. So here I have an example. You can see this is, well, some grass. Normally you could eat the grass, but here I pulled up the roots and everything. So imagine with me, I have the kids cut the grass here. And the grass stays nice as long as we cut it at a nice level. The mower actually has different levels you can cut it at. Some people will go, I want to cut it really low so I don't have to cut it for several weeks. Well, what happens is you cut it too low and it doesn't have enough blades of grass then, and the grass will somewhat burn because it doesn't have enough sustained growth there to hold up. So in the same way, I have the kids cut the grass. They cut the grass here. They don't pull out the grass because they might go, hey, let's yank out all the grass, then we don't have to cut the grass. Well, yeah, we don't have any grass then. But the thing is, with the sheep, you let them graze in that grass, and then they will, and then move them to another spot. They're not smart enough to go, we're eating too much of this grass, and it's not going to grow back. The shepherd has to move them to the different areas. Okay, so the sheep, if they were left up to themselves in their own mind, they would die because they would just graze that one area of grass over and over, and there'd be nothing left. So we are sadly kind of the same way. We do that. We're kind of a stiff-necked people. The Bible calls us stiff-necked people. And we do that. We go, I just want to live my own way. I don't want to follow God's ways. And we do that, and it ends up in destruction, okay? And the Bible tells us in Proverbs 14:12 and 16:25, there's a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. We can be living our life and we're like, this is great, yeah, I love living this way. And in the end it leads to death, okay? Especially eternal death, okay? But Christ has said in John 14:6, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. And in John 10:10, he said, I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So Christ has given us life. He's provided a way. He's the good shepherd guiding us in the right way to go. And we're stubborn people, and we go, no, we want to just do the things we want to do. But in the end, you'll see that God's way is the way that we should be going. And I want to give, and Philip Keller had given these 7 characteristics in his book, but I'm going to give those same 7 characteristics of people that are desiring to follow God and walk in His ways. These are attributes of a Christian that wants to walk with God. Okay, so these are 7 attributes. You can write them down if you want to. I have actually gotten better with writing down this stuff on the YouTube notes. So if you miss it and I go too fast, or you don't want to rewind or whatever, it should be on the YouTube notes. I'm getting better at that. So anyway, the first one is, instead of loving myself most, I am willing to love Christ best and others more than myself. That's a hard thing, because we're born and we have a sinful nature, and it's all about me. When a baby comes into this world, and we have one right now with us, the baby is self-centered. Okay, the baby is crying when it doesn't have the milk and food, and when it lacks sleep, and so forth. That's the way the babies are born. They're born with that sinful nature, and they're concerned about themselves. They're not concerned about, oh, I wonder if mom's getting enough sleep. Maybe I'll sleep through the night. No, the baby is concerned about themselves. So in the same way, we need to be looking at others and as they watching, so that we honor them and God above ourselves. So that's a tough thing. The second thing is this: instead of being one of the crowd, I am willing to be singled out and set apart from the gang. Okay, the sheep are going to they all follow. If there's a shepherd, not the shepherd, one of the sheep, and they go like, oh, look, this is nice green grass over here. All the other sheep are going to follow that sheep around, even though it might, lead to the off of a cliff. Okay, and we have to stand out, and we have to go. You know what? The world, and this is the truth here, the world is headed to hell, and the world is anti-Christian, really. Okay, so if I want to stand up I need to stand up from the world if I'm going to be following God, and I have to be different than the world. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. I could spend like all day on that, the second one there. The third thing is this: instead of insisting on my rights, I am willing to forgo them in favor of others. Okay, so again, it's instead of it being about me, I want my rights, I deserve this. You're looking at like, how does this benefit others instead of myself? All right, that's the third thing. The fourth thing is this: instead of being boss, I'm willing to be the bottom of the heap. Or to use the sheep terminology, instead of being top ram, I am willing to be the tail ender. Okay? You don't always have to be the leader and like, yeah, we need to do this and stand up for this and, have our rights. No, you can let others do that and follow. Okay? Fifth thing: instead of finding fault with life and always asking why, I'm willing to accept every circumstance of life in an attitude of gratitude. That's the thing. There's a whole thing of, if you look around at people, there's people that, have a pity party and say, oh, the world is out to get me and so forth. But if you work hard and serve the Lord, that's a different viewpoint and really a different lifestyle. The seventh and final thing is this: instead of choosing my own way, I am willing to choose to follow in Christ's way, simply to do what he asks me to do. Completely different mindset there. I am choosing not to follow my mind and what I want to do, but I'm willing to follow what Christ wants me to do. Christ might be asking me to go to Africa to preach. He might be asking me to go to a different part of town and preach. And I'm like, no, I want to do that. I want to lay by the beach and, drink my sweet tea and ride my bicycle and stuff, But God's calling you to do other things and for His glory and to honor others above yourself. So completely different mindset here. So I encourage you today to think about that. Not to just be one of the sheep, which actually are dumb, but to follow God's plan, which is the shepherd, and he has the whole viewpoint out. He's like, oh, that's a good pasture. I'm going to lead him there. So that's the thing. There is that, and the phrase we have is, He leadeth me in paths of righteousness for His name's sakes. He's going to lead you there. You have to be willing to follow Him. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking the Word. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Psalm 23. Blessings.